Now,
West Airlines, the official airline of the Seattle Mariners. By your Northwest Ford dealers, home of 5 of the top 10 sellers in America, again. By U.S. West, so you are always connected to what matters to you most. U.S. West, proud sponsors of the year 2000 Olympics. Life's better here. And by Miller Genuine Draft, who reminds you it's time for a good old mackerel brew.
Welcome back to the Kingdom. We're getting ready for the first of a two-game series between the Mariners and the San Diego Padres. Yes, indeed, interleague play once again. Let's take a look at the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the San Diego Padres. Here's the way that they're going here in Game 1. It will be Finley, Gwynn, Vaughn, Caminiti, Rivera, Larrett, Gomez, Cianfrocco, and then Sheets. You can see Vaughn with 25 home runs this year. He had only 18 last year. Larrett just acquired for the Boston Red Sox, and Cianfrocco has had his problems against Jeff Fassero.
So here we go as Jeff Fassero will throw his first pitch to Steve Finley, the outstanding center fielder. Just drops one shallow right in front of Jay Buhner on the first pitch, and here come the San Diego Padres.
Let's take a look at the Mariners defense. It's the Padres. It'll be Hill, Griffey, and Buhner. In the outfield, Rossi, Rodriguez, Torres, Segui around the infield, Wilson behind the plate, and Jeff Fassero. 9-3 with 2 saves in his career against the Padres. When you look at the scouting report on Jeff Fassero, you can see 59% fastballs, but down at the bottom, when he gets his split finger over the plate, not many guys can handle it. There it is.
Gwynn chasing that one 0-1. Tony Gwynn, probably the best hitter of the 90s. I don't think there's any doubt about it. 8 batting titles. You can see a little gray in that beard now. Tony is just turned 38 years of age. Flirted with 400 a couple of years ago. Just snapped out of an 0 for 14 slump. Swinging a line drive to right field, and Buhner coming up, sliding to make the catch, and then wanting to go back to first base, and then fell down. So Gwynn hits it right on the button, but right at Buhner.
Very good play by Jay Buhner. And really, he had only the one play, and that is just go ahead and make the catch. There's no way that you're going to get Finley to double off at first base. But look at it one more time, the sliding catch, and then Jay trying to get to his feet to throw the ball to first, but really, he had no chance. But a very great, very good play.
Well, Greg Vaughn, as you have a look at Buhner after his exciting catch, is having a career year. I mean, he is 25 home runs already and is now producing what the Padres thought he would produce when he was picked up from the Milwaukee Brewers 2 years ago at the All-Star break. As a matter of fact, the Mariners were in Milwaukee. And you can see what has happened to Gwynn this year as compared to the last couple of years. He's been unbelievable. He's been on everything. He's been almost like Sammy Sosa of the Chicago Cubs. 0-1.
Already with 25 home runs, as you pointed out. Last year, he had 18 home runs and only 57 RBIs. He's already passed last year's numbers.
0 for 5 against Jeff Fassero. He chased 2 strikes. The Padres made a deal yesterday, sending a couple of right-handers, Carlos Reyes and Dario Veras, and a minor league catcher, Mandy Romero, to the Red Sox for Jimmy Leyritz and a minor league outfielder. And Leyritz, there he is in the lineup tonight, catching for San Diego. He was very unhappy with the Red Sox, and he got it. So Greg Vaughn down on the start.
Well, after seeing a couple of split-finger fastballs, here comes yet another one. 3 in a row, and Vaughn unable to pick that pitch up. When Fassero gets his split finger over the plate, normally he keeps the ball down well, but when he gets his split finger over, boy, is he tough to hit.
Here's Ken Caminiti, the MVP from a couple of years ago, and Ken Caminiti not having a Ken Caminiti year, at least yet. The delivery's down low, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes with a 243 batting average. Only 3 hits in his last 21 at-bats. He has a very sore left quadricep, which slows him down on the base paths when he does get the ball in the gap. And Caminiti, a fly ball to center, shallow, and Junior will come up and make the easy catch. And despite the first pitch being a base hit off the bat of Finley, the next 3 are gone in order. 1 left, and after a half an inning to play, the Padres nothing, and the Mariners coming up after this word from Southwest Airlines.
Get on a Southwest Airlines plane in Seattle.
10 ball game. Edgar Martinez is not. 3 runs yesterday, including a home run. And Rico Rossi, in his first start as a Mariner, ends up with a home run, his first as a Seattle Mariner. Sterling Hitchcock is on the mound. He has a 3-1 mark with an ERA at 3.82. And you can see the innings hits, base on balls, and strikeouts for Hitchcock. He is basically a fly ball pitcher. Defensively, it'll be Rivera, Finley, and Gwynn in the outfield. Rivera, by the way, that's only the 2nd start in left field this year. And then Caminiti, Gomez, Sheets, and Sean Fracco around the infield. Jim Lehret's just acquired from the Red Sox behind the plate. And on the mound, the left-hander, Sterling Hitchcock. Make him get the ball down.
27-year-old Sterling Hitchcock. His first pitch is in and over to Joey Cora. Hitchcock was a workhorse for the Mariners a couple of years ago. He led them in wins in 1996 with 13 in innings pitched 196 and 2/3. The pitch is a strike again. 0-2. He made 35 starts, tying him for 2nd in the American League, only 1 behind Mike Mussina. Sent to San Diego for Scott Sanders. And the ground ball to the 3rd baseman. And Caminiti throws out Joey Cora.
Look at the scouting report on Sterling Hitchcock. He's basically going to give you fastballs to hit. He'll mix in a few curveballs and changeups. When he's behind the count, probably going to get more fastballs. That's the pitch that you're going to have to hit, and he sometimes gets guys to chase pitches that are up and out of strike zone. That's why I said a few seconds ago, make him get the ball down.
A-Rod had a great day yesterday. Alex had 4 hits, went 4 for 5 to get that average up to 305. Line drive, so Alex Rodriguez is just on fire. That's 5 consecutive hits for Alex Rodriguez.
Dave, I think when Alex tries not to overpower the ball and try to slug it, when he just puts that good stroke on it, I think he's a much better hitter, and I think he's still going to hit his share of home runs. After all, he already has 25 home runs. But how about that? A shortstop that's going to hit you anywhere from 30 to 40 home runs and drive in over 100. Wow.
Junior's dad in the news tonight as he left the Cincinnati Reds during batting practice as they were at home against Kansas City. For some unexplained reason, Ken Griffey Sr., the hitting instructor for the Reds, who have really been struggling lately. The curve swing and a high fly ball hits the deep center. And Finley goes back to the track, and he'll have room at the wall to make the catch. So Junior almost, not quite, got it out. 2 outs.
Boy, if Junior pulls it or even takes it into left center field a bit, he has a chance to go yard. That one was hit to dead center field, right at the 405 marker. Biggest point in the ballpark.
Edgar Martinez, the hitter. Hitchcock started out in the bullpen. He moved into the Padres starting rotation in May, and is 3-1 since then. His only loss coming in another interleague game against the Texas Rangers. He allowed 3 runs over 7 2/3 innings. Texas beat San Diego 3-0. That's a little low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. San Diego tonight could move 24 games over 500 for the first time in franchise history. When tonight to give them their 50th victory. That man, Bruce Bochy, what a job he has done this year. I can see this coming in spring training. They've had an awfully good spring training. That's a little outside. Ball 2 balls and no strikes. Ken Kaiser's the man calling balls and strikes.
Well, the Mariners had their problems with San Diego this spring.
They beat them once.
That's it.
5 tries.
A couple of years ago, the Mariners whomped on the Padres every night, it seemed like.
3-1.
Not this last year.
Out at first base. Hitchcock comes to the plate, and that is a strike. And the count is full, and now Alex takes off. Throwing Hitchcock, home to Florida, Tampa area. Leybert's asking for a fastball in on Edgar. Leyberts was very unhappy in Boston and was asking to be traded. Wanted to get out of there. Thought he'd get more catching time. Jason Varitek, the former Mariners #1 draft choice, kind of took his job. As you see, the deal that was consummated yesterday. San Diego getting Leyberts and Baggett, a minor league outfielder. There he goes, and the pitch is low and inside. Carlos Hernandez this year, the other Padres catcher, and Jimmy Leyritz, their comparison. Leyritz got a little bit more pop.
Well, they made the trade with the Red Sox, knowing that here in the next few ball games that the San Diego Padres are going to be seeing a lot of left-handed pitching. Against the Seattle Mariners, and so they made the trade knowing that Leyritz has had some success against Mariner pitching. And they put Leyritz behind the plate. I'm sure there was a time when Hitchcock was with the Yankees that Leyritz was behind the plate. So you have the battery pitcher and catcher that are familiar with each other's style of either pitching or catching.
David Segui, a very special Father's Day yesterday. His dad Diego was here, son Corey. They both threw out the first pitch. A little bit low on outside, and Corey's still here with his dad. Diego had to go back. I think the fish were biting Kansas City.
Yep, may have had a rod and reel calling to him.
Rodriguez at second, and Edgar Martinez over at first. Just the beginning of things here this evening. Another lovely day in the Northwest. Second day of summer. 1-2. Crowd in the 30s. I would guess again tonight. It's family night here. Half-price night. Game tomorrow. Danny Moyer and Joey Hamilton. Runners go, and the pitch swinging a foul back. Interesting count on which to run, 1-2. There's Joey and Jamie. Down in San Diego, the unit and Andy Ashby on Wednesday. And then on Thursday. Kenny Cloud and Michael Langston in the afternoon game. Two and two. Andy Sheets, and Sheets, the ex-Mariner from last year. Boy, could the Mariners use him now. Second baseman for San Diego. Actually picked up from Tampa Bay. He was drafted in the expansion draft by Tampa Bay, and San Diego picked him up in the trade. And that pitch is drilled to center, but right at Finley, and Finley will make the catch. And the Mariners will leave two. They get one hit. Coming back, Rivera, Levert, and Gomez will score. Shop at Safeway, Sheffield, and Bobby Bull, and the rival Dodgers, the Angels, and the Dodgers baseball Thursday live at 7 on Fox Sports Northwest. How about that shakeup, Ron? Only the fourth manager in 44 years for the Dodgers as Glenn Hoffman takes over for Billy Russell, who's fired. Freddie Clare is fired. Tommy Lasorda is the new general manager of the Dodgers, and they are shaking it up down south.
Well, they have not been drawing the way that I think the Dodgers should be drawing. They have not been playing the way that the Dodgers are expected to play.
Dodger managers don't get fired, though.
No, and rarely do the general managers, but they have new ownership. New ownership comes in, and historically they have a tendency to clean out and bring in their own people.
Ruben Rivera with a count 2-0 on him, and the Panamanian takes high and inside. Ruben Rivera was picked up from the Yankees. One of the players picked up from the Yankees in the Hideki Irabu mess. Remember that? When Irabu was not signed with San Diego, and a 4-pitch walk, and down to first base goes Ruben Rivera. And Irabu has been sensational this year with the Yankees. And Jimmy Leyritz making his San Diego Padre debut, wearing his old familiar number 13.
I think Lucero may be just a little bit upset with the home plate umpire, Ken Kaiser. He thought maybe a couple of those pitches may have been strikes. So Alex having to go out there, and Dan going out there and talking things over, trying to settle him down. Rumors that I have heard anyway regarding the Dodgers that maybe next year Jim Leyland might come in and take over.
That's a strike on the inside corner to Leyritz. Well, I can still see Leyritz getting that home run into the raindrops at Yankee Stadium in 1995 in the playoff game that gave the Yankees that victory and sent the Mariners home down 2-0. Low and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Boy, that was a long flight. Little did we know what awaited the Magic that awaited Seattle that year.
Waving and whirling that bat in a circle. Also heard that maybe Dombrowski, the general manager of the Florida Marlins, might go to the Dodgers. But right now, those are strictly rumors. There's probably 15 other rumors floating around with other names. Name of Whitey Herzog has been mentioned here recently, wanting to get back into the game of baseball.
Whitey doesn't deny it. He would be interested in getting back on the field.
How about Sparky Anderson? We can manufacture our own rumors. We could.
Well, I mean, you know, you're mentioning Hall of Fame material. Sparky's going to be in the Hall of Fame one of these days. Probably Whitey too. I think that probably Sparky would have to have the right kind of a situation. Probably a long-term deal.
Well, he lives in Southern California.
I know, but he doesn't have to get on airplanes all the time. Now he only does home games.
Well, you got a point there. But I think if you gave Sparky a good ball club, I think he would. I think you might be able to get him back.
Layrick pulls it foul. If any Mariner player hits for the cycle this evening, completing a single, a double, a triple, and a home run, Don Isaacson of Kent will win $1 million. You can play $1 Million Baseball Magic at any participating Safeway today. Layrick's hitting .287 with the Red Sox. Dan Duquette was happy to get rid of Layrick, quite frankly, according to the stories that moved over the wire, because he was such a disrupting influence, moaning and complaining about wanting to be traded all the time and not having playing time. The runner goes Rivera, and the throw down, no way. Ruben Rivera with his second stolen base. And the count full.
Boy, yeah, Rivera had an excellent jump that time on Cicero. Look at the leg go. There goes Cicero, or there goes Ruben Rivera. And Dan Wilson had no chance. That young man has a lot of talent.
Cicero, when he gets in a jam, will take a lot of time between pitches. The fastball ripped foul. So 2-13 facing each other. The second go around for interleague play. Dodgers and the Angels tonight. No score in the second. Low and outside, so Cicero back-to-back walk. And Chris Gomez, the catcher, will be the hitter. Of course, this is a different game for San Diego, being used to National League play. And in this situation in the National League, you have an automatic sacrifice just deep down in the lineup. But in the American League, with the pitcher not hitting, who knows? And it's early. It's only the second inning. He is going to sacrifice, and it's inside. Ball one. One ball and no strike. I'm not sure that Cicero has quite recovered from the 4-pitch walk that he gave to Ruben Rivera, and at least shaken the cobwebs out because he was quite upset with Kenny Kaiser. And that's on the inside corner, a slider that time. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, we have seen Cicero struggle in the early goings of a lot of starts that he has made over the last couple of years. And then he seems to settle down once he understands where the umpire strike zone is. Use the double play ball. Pop it up.
2-1 high. Dan Williams is going to go out and try and settle down Jeff Pissarro. The Mariners beating the Oakland A's 2 of 3. First series that they've won in 3 weeks. Last one was against Tampa Bay. They beat Tampa Bay 3 of 4. Trying to get a little momentum generated. And if they are to do it, they are to do it against one of the 3 best teams in baseball. Only the New York Yankees and the Atlanta Braves have a better record than the San Diego Padres. Atlanta, New York, what a great series that ought to be. They're playing the first of a 4-game series, 2 in New York and 2 in Atlanta. They're in New York tonight. And that's low on inside. Ball 3 balls and 1 strike. And the Yankees are leading the Braves 5-4 in the bottom of the 7th. Pissarro is visibly upset. Three and 1 on Gomez. And the runners are going. The pitch, swing and a foul back. Not a bad floor.
Well, you're trying to get the runners to move up 90 feet. And when you get down to a 3-1 count, boy, the pitcher has to come in with a pretty good pitch to the hitter. And so the manager is saying, hey, if he's going to have to, if he's forced to throw a good pitch, I might as well send the runners and let the guy up the plate swing away. Puts the runners in motion, makes it tougher on your defense.
So they go 3 and 2. They went 3 and 1. Pickoff move out at second base. They're back. And another one, and Rivera again back. So pickoff move to Cora, pickoff move to A-Rod.
And now Pissarro has to regroup and concentrate. I think he's going to go to the plate here. Concentrate on what he has to do with Gomez. See, all this stuff around second base right now is taking Pissarro's concentration away at the plate.
And the runners go. The pitch, foul back again. Fastball.
And that time Gomez had a good pitch to hit. Look where that last pitch was. Normally Pissarro is down with these pitches. There's one that's up just a little bit above the belt, right in the middle of the plate.
And the runners go again, and the pitch is drilled deep into right center field, and Buhner goes back, and he'll make the catch, and the runners will have to retreat. Back to first base, double play as they get Jimmy Leyritz too far down to second base. My, oh my, what a throw by Buhner. Right on the money to David Segui.
Good throw by Jay Buhner, bad base running by Jim Leyritz. He didn't know where the ball was. He went all the way to second base. You can see Buhner's looking at second base, and all of a sudden looks back at first base, and that's not even close.
Not even close. So a huge double play. And here's Arquis Cienfranco. hitting only 140. Taking high, ball one. The Mariners and Pissarro getting a tremendous break. And that ball popped up. And Pissarro's going to get out of it as Junior walks over underneath the ball and makes the catch. But despite the fact first two men aboard on bases on balls, nothing doing. One left, and after an inning and a half, no score.
À la différence d'autres fonds internationaux, l'American Country International.
Not a very good way to make an impression your first day in the new uniform. Jimmy Leyland.
Well, what you expect for Angel Bravo?
You got to tell that story to me.
Oh, wait, I've already told that one.
I know, but it's a new night. We have a new audience. 2-1 on Jay Buhner. 3-1. And a ground ball right to Campanelli. A little low in the dirt. Dug out nicely at first base. So, one away, and Glenn Allen Hill will be the hitter. Be a part of the Morris Travel Mariners East Coast trip. That trip takes off in late July to Camden Yards to see the Mariners take on the Orioles, and then heads on to Cooperstown for 2 days at the Baseball Hall of Fame. It includes airfare, ground transportation, hotel, and a special post-game reception in Baltimore. On the inside corner. For more information, you can call the AT&T Mariners fan phone at 1-800-MY-MARINERS. It's like Payne Stewart up there at the place. Boy, what a tough loss for him yesterday. As Glenn Allen Hill has decided to show a lot of baseball socks tonight.
Yeah, Payne Stewart did not have a lot of breaks yesterday there at the U.S. Open.
0-2 the count. How about that ball dropping out of the tree after Jansen was headed back to the tee? That's unbelievable.
Isn't that something?
Line to right field, and Tony Gwynn for the catch. 2 down.
I even thought the putt that Payne Stewart made on 18 was going to go. I thought that was a pretty good effort. But he had a ball that rested in a fairway divot that ended up costing him the stroke. Wasn't his day. Yeah, but it certainly was Lee Jansen's day. He played extremely well.
Wilson, who used to catch Sterling Hitchcock a couple of years ago, takes one just off the corner.
Back the other day, Lou picked Lee Jansen to win the U.S. Open. How about that?
No. On the outside corner today. Wade Boggs, 40 years old today. The reason I bring that up, he's the first 40-year-old to play regularly at third base since these Padres had a guy play there. A little blooper at second base, and Andy Sheets before him out. His name is Craig Nettles. He played 114 games for the Padres at age 41 and 86. No score after 2. In the top half of the 9th inning, And also a game down in Anaheim between the Angels and the Dodgers, 1-0. The Dodgers are leading the Angels in the managerial debut of Glenn Hoffman. Andy Sheets, the ex-Mariner, takes down low and inside, the former LSU project. Performer of the Tigers, College World Series, awfully nice kid. His home in Louisiana. 1 ball and 1 strike. Glenn Hoffman. I remember Glenn Hoffman as a utility infielder at the Boston Red Sox. Mainly second base. Ground ball to Rico Rossi, and Rossi throws him out. So here he is, the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers. His dad, as I recall, used to be an usher and sing the national anthem at Dodger Stadium.
Either that or Anaheim Stadium. One of the two places.
I think it was Anaheim Stadium. I think you're right. I think it was Anaheim Stadium, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wish him well.
I did too. Here's Steve Finley. And Finley takes a strike.
Boy, Finley has really matured and developed as a hitter the last 3 years since coming over from the Houston Astros over to the San Diego Padres. Hit 47 home runs his first 7 years. In the last 3 years, he's hit 63. Sometimes when you move out of a large ballpark into a smaller park, like that of Freecom Park in San Diego now, that helps out quite a bit. Change of scenery. He likes the ball up. Prefers the ball in a little bit, but he's a pretty good high ball hitter.
A slider for a strike, and a beauty it was. The eye of the Tigers, Tony Gwynn, right on Mr. Pissarro. Good fastball. Inside corner, disagreeing Steve Finley.
Second strikeout for Jeff Pissarro. You be the judge. Is that a strike? Looked like a pretty good pitch. Anyway, according to Ken Kaiser, the home plate umpire. So Pissarro finally getting a pitch from Kaiser.
Gwynn hitting the ball right on the button, right to Jay Buhner, making a sliding catch in the first inning, taking a strike.
Had a lot of fun kidding with Tony a few years ago when with the Giants.
Popped up to left field, and Glenn Allen Hill is there.
Has a bat that's 30 inches, 32 inches long, 30 ounces, and I said, you got a little league bat up there.
3 up and 3 down, no score. Moving to the bottom of the third.
Proud to pitch whenever they need me. Proud to be the closer.
And he also made a great defensive play. So 34-year-old Rico Rossi, who has not played in the big leagues for 5 years, gets a home run in his Mariner debut, and here he is to lead it off in the bottom half of the third. So Rico Rossi with that 1-for-3 debut, and sends a high pop-up into foul territory. A long sprint for Rivera, and Ruben is there to make the catch. Fine catch by Rivera. He had a mile to come. So 1 pitch and 1 down.
You know, you look back where Ruben Rivera is playing and look how far he had to go to make that play. And then had to slow down to make the catch.
A little bit inside. 2 notes, Joey. Three balls and no strikes. Philadelphia, Boston, that one going to the Phillies at Fenway, 9-8, and the Orioles beating the Mets 7-2 at Camden Yards. So Joey Corbin on 4 pitches to first base. That's the second walk given up by Sterling Hitchcock, and A-Rod, 5 consecutive hits, will step up to the plate. And all 5 of his hits, well, let's say 4 of his 5 hits have been bullets. The first of his 4 hits yesterday in the 3rd inning was an infield hit. But the last 4 have been ropes.
I think there are a lot of times hitting is contagious. You have one guy that starts to get hot, and then somebody else starts to heat up. Kind of goes in those cycles. Let's hope that with the performance here of Alex and what he's been doing recently, that the other guys are going to pick up the pace as well.
Hitchcock does not have a great move to first base.
Well, it's pretty much a deliberate move to first base.
Jammed him that time and popped him up, and Andy Sheets will go out and call and make the catch. Well, be sure to enter the Hit the Road with the Mariners contest. You can win a trip or 2 to catch the Mariners and Orioles at Camden Yards, along with 2 days at the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. The package includes the round-trip airfare, the hotel accommodations, the game tickets, and to enter, you can pick up an entry from wherever Henry Weinhardt is displayed at participating retailers throughout the Puget Sound. Junior sent Steve Finley to the warning track to get his drive in the 1st inning. And a high fly ball hit into fairly deep left center field, and Rivera makes the catch. No problem for Hitchcock here in the 3rd. 1 left, coming back. Vaughn, Caminiti, and Rivera. No score.
Susie said he got sick, so I don't have to do the dumb dinosaur. I get to do the peacock.
Great. Peacock.
Want to get away? Southwest has your ticket to freedom. Fly for only $39 with Southwest Airlines Fun Fares.
You are now free to move about the country.
Picture the biggest band you know playing in the smallest club you've ever seen. You try and warn them, you know, you're going to get all that stuff in this little place.
I can't get the speakers inside. The door is too small.
It's like a boat in a bottle kind of thing.
We're going to try to fit a stadium-sized show into a small club.
You can't buy tickets for the show.
I can't tell you who the band is. I'm not allowed to.
This is going to be something.
How does it look? I'm not going to lie to you. It doesn't look good. You got a broken crankshaft, a stuck valve, and a tremendous buildup of gunk.
I should have used a Fram oil filter. Nothing stops more dirt and engine-damaging particles better than America's #1 brand of filter. I guess I'm paying for it now.
Try and be strong. Fram oil filters. Pay a little more now. We'll pay a lot later.
Tom Glasgow with your U.S. West update. Braves, Yankees in New York. Bottom of 7, 4-3. Atlanta. Rock rains off El Presidente over the head of Andrew Jones. 2 runs coming in. Chuck Knobloch, a smiling Paul O'Neill. The Yankees with a 5-4 lead. And they get a victory by a 6-4 score back to the Dome.
Moving to the 4th, Greg Vaughn will step in and lead it off now for the San Diego Padres. Vaughn struck out in the first. And right on the inside corner is Jeff Lucero. Lawn inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. It's nice to have Mike Pegram here tonight, the owner of Real Quiet. He came within a nasal hair of winning the Triple Crown at Belmont a couple of weeks ago. A swing and a miss, and of course Mike was actually from my hometown, and the people in Mount Vernon who love to claim him. Why not? He made his fortune in the fast food business in Mount Vernon. Low and outside, 2-2. Two and 2. And the count full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And he misses inside. So again, for the second time in 4 innings, a leadoff base on balls. And Ken Caminetti will be there. And as we were talking about Mike, we went back to get him and welcome him back home. So I'm telling you, it must have been a wild ride the last couple of months, my friend.
Long way from Princeton, Dave.
Boy, you know something? It's I'll tell you who it was. I was in Florida, and I ran into an old high school friend. His name is High Pop-Up into left field. Glen Allen Hill, that new long stocking look, makes the easy catch. So 1 down. And ran into a kid, I don't know if you remember him or not, by the name of Barry Blood, who lived in Princeton, and was talking about the fact that he went back to Churchill Downs, I guess, and all the contingents you had back there, and of course all your friends from Mount Vernon here in the state of Washington, and I think we cheated a little bit, and at the Belmont we saw that horse coming down the stretch, and I was calling a baseball game, and we're only on radio. I couldn't help but call the race. Oh man, what an afternoon that must have been.
You know, it was a ride of my life for 6 weeks. You know, you've been around this professional sport, but that horse racing is something else.
Swing and a miss. Ruben Rivera, this young man from Panama, and picked out of the Yankee organization in the Hideki Rabu situation a couple of years ago when the Japanese pitcher would not sign with San Diego. And has been, for the most part, in Las Vegas throughout his professional career, at least at the AAA level. Takes it inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Where's the horse going to race next?
Should go back to Monmouth Park in New Jersey the second weekend in August. Horse came out of the race real good. Wish we could run him this week.
Oh, that's a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. How's your life changed, or has it?
Well, nobody ever asked me to throw out the first pitch in there in this game. A lot of people buying me beer now.
And it's the time you can afford it. There were times when you couldn't afford it, right, Mike? 1 ball and 2 strikes, and a 1-2 pitch is inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Ruben Rivera. Well, I got to tell you, and this is a little inside thing for somebody from Princeton. I mean, you have to realize that the core of my youth was spent in a place called the Palace Pool Room. And his dad, Harvey, was a real good friend of mine. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, his grandfather, on the inside corner, strike 3 call. And his dad, Jim, was a good friend of mine. And I was back there and to bury my stepmother just before spring training started, and I saw the Palace was boarded up, and I couldn't believe it.
1,000 career strikeouts for Jeff Lucero. They're going to throw the ball out. It'll be a nice souvenir for Jeff Lucero. 1,000 strikeouts for Jeff Lucero.
So a nice standing ovation for the young man from Illinois who makes his, well, actually, he was living in Indiana. He was living outside of Indianapolis. Now makes his home in Auburn. 35-year-old Jeff Lucero. Here's Jimmy Leyritz. And Leyritz sends a drive into the gap in right center field, and nobody's there, so Greg Vaughn is going to hit the bag at third and be sent around third. Here comes Cora with a cutoff man, and he's not going to throw it back in. And so it's 1-0 San Diego as Jimmy Leyritz, a man who has tortured the Mariners over the last few years, gives in his debut the San Diego Padres the early 1-0 lead. His first night as a San Diego Padre. Went down, got a pretty good fastball. I got to believe, Mike Pegram, that you probably, your introduction into the horse racing business was probably down around Ellis Park, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Down there with the Philly Beans. And, you know, that's what I tell people all the time, growing up in Indiana and being up here in Washington now, it's so similar.
Chris Gomez takes a strike. Well, you know, and to pay $17,000 for that one.
It was a bargain, wouldn't take much to get a partner.
That's right. That's right. And a swing. On to visiting with the owner of Real Quiet, who came within a nostril of winning the Triple Crown. Wow.
Should have just stretched his nose a little bit longer.
Wish he'd have been Pinocchio and lied coming down the stretch, don't you? Here comes the 0-2 on the way to Gomez, and a ground ball hit to A-Rod. And the throw to first base. Can you hang around just a little bit? Okay. All right, we're going to visit some more with Mike Pegram when we come back. A run, the old leadoff base on balls, would you know it, comes in to score, and after 3.5.
Don't sound right.
Visiting with Mike Pegram, the owner of Real Quiet here, as the Mariners are meeting the San Diego Padres in the first of what is a 4-game series. 2 here in Seattle, and then we'll be down at 3Com Park on Wednesday night and Thursday afternoon before heading on over into Arizona to play the Arizona Diamondbacks on the next road trip. Edgar Martinez leads it off, but the Padres leading it by a score of 1-0. And the breaking ball in and over at the knees for a strike, 0-1. Mike, Real Quiet, realistically, how long do you think this horse will run?
You know, he has stayed so sound. He's been in training now for almost 18 months, so the sky's the limit with him.
1 ball and 1 strike on Edgar Martinez. And that's a little bit outside. 2-1. What are the odds of even getting a 3-year-old qualified for the Kentucky Derby?
It's awesome. I mean, it's astronomical to be able to think you get a $17,000 horse to do what he did, but he's an awesome individual. Timing means so much in this business, and Bobby just knows this timing right now is getting ready for the Derby.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Edgar Martinez. Well, you and Bobby Baffert have developed a special relationship, and that pitch is tattooed deep to left center field, and Finley goes back to the track, to the wall to make the catch, and crash into the wall and go down and hang on to the baseball. So an outstanding defensive play by Steve Finley, taking away an extra base hit from Edgar Martinez. And David Segui will be the hitter. Have another look.
There's a stroke by Edgar Martinez. And look at the way and the concentration of Finley as he catches the ball, knowing he's going to crash into that wall, but already bracing himself. And thank heavens that wall has a little bit of give to it and a whole bunch of padding.
Well, here is David Segui now, and Segui off the hand fouls it off the first base side, and that'll find its way right on into the dugout. 0-1 the count. Visiting with Mike Pegram. Welcome back. He threw out the first pitch here tonight before this game. Also has a home not too far from down in San Diego, where the turf meets the surf down there at Del Mar. Low this time, so the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Any rising superstars besides that young colt?
I had a
3-year-old.
I had a 2-year-old filly win by 11 lengths at Churchill Downs last Saturday.
What was the name of it?
Silver Bullet Day. So, I mean, that's the whole thing about 2-year-olds. You'll never commit suicide if you own a 2-year-old. You always got hope, Dave.
Well, the same thing I think you take with you when you're 14 games out of first place, and it's only June, you know.
Thank God it's June.
Right. 2-1 the count on David Segui. Well, your dad was such a great baseball guy, and the whole Pegram family great baseball people, except your Uncle Charles. He was a classmate of mine. As David Segui walked, headed to first base.
I just heard they wouldn't let him play.
Well, the Emerald Downs Long Acres Mile, Sunday, August the 23rd at 5 o'clock. You're going to have a horse in that one?
Well, I wish I could, but that's the second biggest thrill I ever had is when Is It In Good won the Long Acres Mile. But right now, we're a little weak in that division.
Here is Buhner now with Segui at first base. 1-0. How many horses in your stable now?
I got 15 at the track right now, but I got another 15 2-year-olds that are at the farm coming in. And, you know, it's like baseball. If you don't have that farm team coming off the bench, you're not going to be around next year.
Are you in the breeding business?
A little bit, just by accident, though. I mean, you got to decide whether you're going to be a racer or a breeder. And I like racing. I like the action.
That's a strike to Jay. 1 ball and 1 strike. How about the other owners? The other owners aren't the Mike Pegrams of the world. I know that. I haven't been around the horse racing that much, but at least I know how hoity-toity they are.
Well, the thing about it is, like life, everything changes. You know, we got cable now, so now maybe we got the Mike Pegram and Bob Baffert show a little bit in horse racing. So we like to have a good time, and so do the fans.
2-2 on Jay Buhner. Nice family night crowd of 30,000 plus here this evening. So Buhner is down on strikes. And for Sterling Hitchcock, that is his first strikeout. And Glenn Allen Hill will step up in the play.
Kind of interesting pattern that time, Dave, that Hitchcock used with Buhner. A couple of fastballs in, a couple of fastballs away, got down to a 2-2 count, and then threw an off-speed pitch. Chasing nothing but hard stuff, but then all of a sudden the changeup shows up and had Jay out in front.
Glenn Allen Hill sends a high fly ball into right center field, and Tony Gwynn will go right back near the wall to make the catch. Mike, it's great to see you. Congratulations on your success in the horse racing business. Keep it up.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, Mike Pegram, our guest. The owner of Real Quiet. My, how close he came winning the Triple Crown. 1-0 after 4, San Diego.
Shop at Safeway and play $1 Million Baseball Magic. And a fabulous brand name prize could be yours to win. Look for Mother's Bakery Wagon Cookies. Pepsi products, and Ragu pasta sauces at Safeway, and play $1 Million Baseball Magic today.
We've got guys from all over the world in our club. Veterans like Edgar Martinez really help them out.
I'd like a double tall latte, please.
I like a double tall latte, please.
How about them cooks?
How about them cooks?
Gooey duck.
Gooey duck.
I took my gooey duck to Puyallup.
I took my gooey duck to Puyallup.
Good.
The Seattle Mariners. You gotta love these guys.
They're short, you betcha.
A mechanical genius I'm not, so when it comes to taking care of my car, I head to Al's Auto Supply. The parts pros at Al's always give me smart advice, the right part, the right price, whatever it takes. What if every business operated just like Al's?
Sure, you can renew your license here without a wait. And we're open 7 days a week, evenings too. We ran a free test on your TV. Nothing major wrong. It just needs a small part we've got here in stock.
Yep.
Archie Cianfranco popped up to Junior.
We talk about Rich Amaral being able to play a lot of different positions and showing value to your ball club, and does a good job at it. What about this guy right here, Dave? He has played 7 different positions this year. The only 2 positions he's not played, center field and pitcher. But he has gotten a chance to play 7 different positions this year.
Junior. And he's a jack. So 1 away in the 5th. A 2-out Jim Leyritz double has produced the only run. Greg Vaughn scoring all the way from first base. And here is Andy Sheets. This has been a ball club that has done it on pitching and defense. The Padres have not made an error in their last 7+ games, 72 innings coming into this game.
And they have a closer down there, Trevor Hoffman.
Oh, did they have a closer? Wow, 30 straight saves, 22 straight this year. 2-1. Look at this in the last dozen games. How great that pitching is. 3 runs a game. They've scored more than their opponents. That's on the corner. 2-2 on Andy Sheets. He went around, so Sheets is down on strike for 4 strikeouts for Pissarro. And starting on his 2nd 1,000, number 1001 for Jeff Pissarro. And to Junior straight away. And it's an easy 5th inning for the left-hander. 3 up and 3 down. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. Can't leave a ball game 1-0 San Diego.
First of all, you got Jeff Pissarro, who has not won in his last 3 starts, but has been pitching much better, especially in his last outing. And then Sterling Hitchcock, for some reason, it seems like he always pitches well against Seattle.
Hitchcock 3-1 on the year. And in 10 starts, he has pitched very well for San Diego. Started off the season down in the bullpen. Catcher Dan Wilson will lead things off here in the 5th inning. And take ball 1. Danny 0 for 1 is grounded out to Andy Sheets at second base. He'll be followed by Rico Rossi. And then Joey Cora. Fastball for a strike, 1-1. for San Diego, Red. On top of the National League West, they've won 12 of their last 13 games. Coming off a win yesterday, 5-1 against the team directly behind them in the West, San Francisco. They've turned things around from last year when they were last in the National League West.
Well, Dave and I were talking about that earlier in the game, about the fact that even in spring training, San Diego had an excellent spring and gave the Mariners a rough time, beat them 5 out of 6 times. But you could see that in spring training, as you look at the National League West standing, that 5.5-game lead, it just by the way they were playing in spring training, you say, hey, these guys have a chance to put together a pretty good year. Well, they've done it.
Big addition. Kevin Brown, fly ball, shallow left center on the run. Ruben Rivera, and he makes the catch, 1 away. One thing about the Padres, they play some good defense. Steve Finley, an outstanding catch. And a ball hit by Edgar in the bottom of the 4th inning, up against the wall.
With the speed of Rivera in left field, with his speed, he could play center field with the range that he has. But Finley does a great job in center field. Now you put Rivera out there in left field. There's not much room out there for that ball to fall in.
And even with the old man in right field, and I mean that very affectionately, Tony Gwynn, who's 38. Tony, there's a beach ball that Ruben Rivera takes care of. Even at 38, Tony Gwynn has 5 Gold Gloves. Here's Rico Rossi. 0 for 1. Curveball low and inside, ball 1. A chance to visit with Tony Gwynn before the ball game. What a gentleman. Future Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. Career .340 hitter. And he could play right field. Down and away on Rossi for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. He said Bruce Bochy in an American League ballpark sometimes likes to put DH by my name, but he said, I want to play. Bochy put Tony out there in right field. 2-1 on Rossi.
Well, you know, Tony spends a lot of time working on playing defense. And I think that's why he is such a good ball player and has been over the last several years.
Changeup down and away, ball 3, 3-1 on Rico.
I think he realizes that there are two parts of the game of baseball, offense and defense, and one should have no effect upon the other. There are a lot of times if guys have a rough time hitting, their defense suffers.
Full count on Rossi, 3-2.
But that's not the case with a guy like Tony Gwynn. He's very proud of what he does out there defensively. And there aren't too many guys that can compare what he does up there with that bat in his hand either.
8 National League batting titles. 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the 5th, 1-0 San Diego. Up and away, ball 4. So Rico Rossi with a walk. With 1 given up by Hitchcock. Well, last year's MVPs go head-to-head as Junior and the Mariners take on Larry Walker of the Colorado Rockies on Tuesday, June 30th at 7:05. The 3-game series continues Wednesday, July 1st at 7:35 and concludes Thursday, July 2nd at 12:35 with a U.S. Bank Mariner Matinee presented by the Puget Sound Business Journal. It's interleague excitement at its best. Good seats are still available. For tickets, call 622-HITS when the Rockies come to town.
Very good pitcher in his day. Going out there to the mound, the pitching coach for the Padres, Dave Stewart. 20-game winner many times. Good competitor. Didn't take long for him to say what he wanted to say to Hitchcock.
1 on, 1 away. Here's second baseman Joey Cora. Joey's 0 for 1 with a walk, and he's also grounded out to Caminetti over third base. Dave Stewart always had that death stare when he pitched. Looked in at the hitter. All 1 on Torres. I mean, he was all business. Dave Stewart still has that stare.
Yeah, he still has his game face off.
Hello, Stu. Had a chance to talk with Dave before the ball game. He was the assistant GM last year for the ball club. Now their pitching coach. Line drive caught by Hitchcock over the first. What a double play. What a play by Sterling Hitchcock. He doubles off Rossi over at first base. A 1-3 double play to retire the side. Well, after 5 innings of play, as you look at it one more time, Padres lead by a score of 1-0. We'll head to the 6th after this word from Southwest Airlines. The 6th inning, one of the game's great hitters will lead things off, Tony Gwynn. Tony is 0 for 2. He's lined out to Buhner in right field. He's also flying out to Glenn Allen Hill in left field. And Tony always said that one of the toughest pitchers he has ever faced, the guy right now on the mound, Cero. Ground ball pushed to the right side. Joey Core charges it. Underhands to David Segui. Tony Gwynn is 0 for 3 against Jeff Cero tonight. Well, over the last 5 days, there's been a very special event going on in baseball. Major League Baseball trying to help find a cure for prostate cancer. Keep Dad in the game. The nonprofit organization raised money for prostate cancer research. It's called Cap Cure. Now, there's a number that you can call. It's right there, 1-800-547. And you can pledge anywhere between 25 cents and $10,000. Line drive, left field line, fair ball off the bat of Greg Vaughn. He's heading for second. Up for the ball is Glenn Allen Hill. Greg Vaughn with a one-out double of the 6th inning. And for every home run hit during this 5-day period in baseball, thousands and thousands of dollars will be raised to help find a cure for prostate cancer. And there's a number to call, 1-800-547-CURE. You can call that number and make a pledge and help find a cure. 1 on, 1 away. Here's Ken Caminiti, who is 0 for 2. He has flied out twice. All your dads out there, take the time to take a PSA blood test. It's a real simple test. Up and in with a fastball, ball 1. Lee Elia did that last year. Very lucky that he did. And we're very happy to pass along to you fans that the former Mariner hitting coach is doing just fine. No signs of the cancer anymore for Lee Elia.
Got it in time.
Padres lead 1-0. Jeff Cero wants to take a look at the signs one more time.
Caminiti is a switch hitter. And like so many of the switch hitters, he's probably a better high ball hitter right-handed and a low ball hitter left-handed.
Outside. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes.
When you look back over the years of all the switch hitters that had any kind of power at all, you'll find that most of them liked the ball down left-handed, but hit the ball right-handed that was up better. And I think the same applies to Caminiti.
Ball 3, 3-0.
That's not to say that they can't hit the ball right-handed down, but I think they were better hitters right-handed up. Mantle was one like that. Eddie Murray was like that. I think Caminiti's like that. Reggie Smith was like that.
Fly ball to left field. Glenn Allen Hill drifting back. And Hill puts it away for out number 2. Vaughn back to second base. Jeff Cero has been very tough when he's had to be in this ball game. Worked out of a few jams. And now he's trying to keep Vaughn over there at second base.
Well, that's generally the sign of a very good pitcher, of being able to get out of a jam or pitch around a mistake. The only mistake I think that Cero really has made in this evening's game was allowing Larraz to hit the double back in the 4th inning to drive in Greg Vaughn from first base. Other than that, he has pitched one heck of a game.
Ruben Rivera 0 for 1. He has walked. He also struck out his last time up in the 4th inning. Good breaking ball down and in, 0-1.
See how that breaking ball goes low and in to the right-hand hitters, and they all have a tendency to swing over the top of the ball. Either you pull that ball foul or you beat it in the ground.
One tough left-hander, Jeff Cero. 16-game winner last year. Another breaking ball, but it misses down and in this time. Ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Vaughn at second with 2 outs. Jeff says, I see you over there. Up high, ball 2. 2-1. Ruben Rivera coming over from the Yankees organization for the signing rights to Hideki Arabu. Down and in, ball 3. 3-1. Remember, San Diego negotiated for the rights to get Arabu from his Japanese ball club. That was traded away from San Diego to New York. On deck for the Padres, Jimmy Leyritz, who had the big double, RBI double in the fourth. Hideki Arabu having an outstanding year for the Yankees. Up and away, ball 4. So Ruben Rivera with a walk. Runners at first and second for the Padres with 2 down. And Pissarro will have to take a look at Jim Leyritz, who has walked and doubled in a run. Pitching coach Stan Williams had to go out and settle down Pissarro back in the second when it looked like Jeff started to lose his cool a bit after back-to-back walks to Rivera and Leyritz.
Yeah, I think that was getting him to calm down because of the strike zone of home plate umpire Ken Kaiser. Since then, though, he's been all right.
Inside on Leyritz, ball 1.
Leyritz looking for that ball out over the plate. That fastball in kind of had a tendency to freeze him and stand him straight up. Leyritz doesn't really like the ball in there. That's one of the reasons why he wears that elbow guard. Guys pitch him inside, and they may hit him a couple of times.
Pops him up. Shallow right field. Joey Cora going out. Buhner coming in. It's going to drop in. A base hit. 2 runs are going to score. The throw to second. Leyritz is in with a bloop double. Vaughn and Rivera score, and the Padres have a 3-0 lead.
And that may have been a lack of communication. I don't know that Buhner could have gotten to the ball. Jay had a long way to go. But watch Cora going back. Joey looking back to see if Jerry's there. Looking back again, then all of a sudden going after it. And then not being able to come up with it. Look at it again. Joey going back. And it looked like he thought he had it for a second, and then all of a sudden came up short.
And it drops beyond the reach of Joey and in front of Jay Buhner. 2-run score with 2 outs. And the Padres have a 3-0 lead. Here's Chris Gomez. And he takes ball 1.
You know, it's not so much the errors that the Mariners make. It's the plays they don't make that seem to cost them some games.
Leyritz on at second. Swing and a miss by Gomez. 1 ball and 1 strike. That ball was up there long enough.
Of course, Jay has the bad knee, and of course he doesn't have the range that that he had a year or 2 ago, but he's just coming off a surgery. So I mean, he has a limited area to cover.
1-2 on Gomez. Jay came in and made an outstanding catch, sliding on that surgically repaired left knee.
And at the same time, Cora doesn't want to run into Jay Buhner because Cora's going to lose that battle.
It looked like Joey was getting ready for a collision.
Yeah, and may have been scared off by the footsteps of Jay Buhner.
Strike 3 called on Gomez to retire the side, but the Padres get 2 runs in the top of the 6th inning after 5 1/2. Padres lead 3-0. And back here at the Kingdome, bottom of the 6th inning, where it's now the Padres 3 and the Mariners nothing. A-Rod leads it off and takes ball 1. San Diego 2 mighty big runs with 2 outs in the top half of this inning. Alex 1 for 2 with a single back in the first. Ball 2. A-Rod coming off a very good series against the Oakland A's. He was 4 for 5 yesterday with a run batted in and the Mariners 10-5 win.
Well hit ball deep to left field. Goodbye baseball. Line drive home run. Alex Rodriguez, his 26th of the season. And it's now the Padres 3 and the Mariners 1. Alex Rodriguez with a laser beam home run into the seats in left field. And the Mariners finally get to Sterling Hitchcock here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Running it down about this being a home run. There's a stroke by Alex, and there she goes, folks. That ball was hammered as it gets back into the stands easily. And now that last pop-up by Larrett looks a little bit bigger. Otherwise, we'd have a tie game.
A-Rod with a home run. Here's center fielder Ken Griffey Jr. Low, ball one. Mariners have been having their problems defensively. Griffey is flat out twice. Taps one foul behind home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. So with a home run tonight, $40,000 raised to support prostate cancer research with our Capture Home Run Challenge that's been going on for the last 5 days. Chance to raise a lot of money to help find a cure for prostate cancer. Hopefully we'll find a cure real soon. Alex Rodriguez with a home run. High and outside on Griffey. Ball 2, 2-1. Right-hander Donnie Wall warming up in the San Diego bullpen. Ground ball to the first baseman. Sanfranco has it. Little toss to Hitchcock, and that is out number 1. Looks like Sanfranco was close enough to take it first base by himself.
I've always have felt that if you can take it yourself, go ahead and do it. Don't get the pitcher involved. And the reason for that is you don't want to take a chance. Look how close he is to the bag. You don't want to take a chance at having the pitcher drop the ball, or as he steps on first base, to have the runner step on the ankle or the foot of the pitcher. So whenever possible, get the pitcher out of the play. Take it yourself.
1 out here is Edgar Martinez, 0 for 1. Breaking ball is low, ball 1. Edgar just showing bunt to see if he might move in Caminiti at third base, but Caminiti's not taking the base. Caminiti's still deep at third. Ball 2, 2-0.
I think Caminiti is saying, Edgar, you're not fooling anybody. The last time you bunted was 7 years ago.
And I'm not moving. 2-1. Edgar back up in the cleanup spot the last couple of ball games. 1 for 2 yesterday with a home run. His 12th of the year. Off the end of the bat, pops it up into shallow center field. Andy Sheets, the second baseman, calling for it. He's got it. 2 outs. Well, friends, spend an afternoon right here at the ballpark as the Mariners take on the Padres tomorrow at 3:35. It's the next U.S. Bank Mariner matinee presented by the Puget Sound Business Journal. The league worked a little early and catch exciting interleague action when the Mariners take on San Diego. For tickets, stop by any Ticketmaster Ticket Center or call 622-HITS. Final game of the brief 2-game series against San Diego, and then we go down to San Diego for 2 against the Padres next Wednesday and Thursday. David Segui inside, ball 1. Nice to have David's dad, Diego Segui, here at the ballpark. Diego threw out the first pitch before yesterday's game, along with his grandson, Corey. Ball 2, 2-0. Sterling Hitchcock, his 11th start of the year, started off the season down in the bullpen, where he made 12 appearances in relief. Has been very effective in his 10 starts. At the knees for a strike, 2-1. David Segui 0 for 1, is fly to center, and he is walked. Padres lead 3-1. Ball 3, 3-1. On deck, Jay Buhner. I like that camera shot right there, Red. Put you in the on-deck circle with Jay. Off-speed pitch, got a piece of the outside corner. Full count, 3-2. Feel like you're ready to hit when you see that shot behind Buhner.
Yeah, you're right there, and you look down the right field foul line, or you look down the left left field foul line. Different shot, but I like it.
Jim Leyritz, the newest Padre. Down and in for ball 4. So David Segui with a 2-out walk. 5 walks given up by Sterling Hitchcock, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate in Jay Buhner.
Just kind of give you an idea as to how these two teams are going this year. The Mariners have been walked 5 times, and they have not scored. The Padres have 4 walks, and 2 of them have scored.
Clutch hits. Leyritz with that RBI double, then the pop-up that should have been caught, but it wasn't. 2 runs scored. Jay Buhner. On the outside corner, a strike. Hitchcock stayed away the last time, struck him out.
Last time up, a couple of fastballs in, a couple of fastballs away. Got down to a 2-2 count, and then threw him a changeup. Now he's starting Buhner off with a pitch away. Another one away.
Ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Saw that stare of pitching coach Dave Stewart has done a fine job with this staff. Kevin Brown comes over from the World Series champion Florida Marlins. Swing and a miss. A ball and 2 strikes. One on, 2 outs. A run in here in the bottom of the 6th inning. With the runners on, Jay hitting .364, and he has Segui over at first base. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. For strike 3, they made the appeal down to the first base umpire, Jim Joyce. Mariners get 1 run on 1 hit. The leadoff home run by Alex Rodriguez. After 6 innings of play, Padres lead 3-1.
Airline, the official airline of the Seattle Mariners. By Eagle Hardware and Garden. More of everything. By U.S. West. So you are always connected to what matters to you most. U.S. West. Proud sponsor of the year 2000 Olympics. Life's better here. And by Miller Genuine Draft. To remind you, it's time for a good old macro.
Well, we're underway here in the top of the 7th inning with the Padres leading the ball game 3-1. Arky Sanfranco leads off the inning, and then on the first pitch, he pops one up behind home plate as Dan Wilson makes the easy catch. 1 pitch, 1 away for the Padres here in the 7th. Brings up second baseman Andy Sheets. Strike 1. Padres 3 runs, only 4 hits. Mariners 1 run and just 2 base hits. Sheets is 0 for 2. Good kid from Lafayette, Louisiana. Well, makes his home in Lafayette. He's originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. 0-2 on Sheets. You talk about hot, humid. That's Louisiana. Check swing. He went after it. Strike 3. Jeff Facero strikes out Andy Sheets. Strikeout number 5 for Facero. 2 down.
Take a look at the replay. You can see that Andy goes around too far, tries to hold up, and then tries to do a little bit of acting, and he knows that he's going to be called out on strikes. But you're trying to pretend as though you didn't go around.
He said you did. Ken Kaiser, the plate umpire, makes the call right away. 2 outs for San Diego. Here's center fielder Steve Finley. Breaking ball is popped up. Rico Rossi calling for it. Rico's there, and he's got it. An easy 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Facero. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Fans will take their 7th inning stretch after 6 1/2. Padres lead 3-1. The 7th inning stretch brought to you all season by today's manufactured home. Padres lead 3-1. We have a new pitcher for San Diego. Right-hander Donnie Wall on in relief, replacing Sterling Hitchcock.
See the numbers on Donnie Wall.
Ground ball fair inside the bag at third and down the left field line, in and out of the Mariner pen. Hill heading for second. The throw by Rivera, not in time. Hill is in safely.
Just over the bag, and a very good play by Rivera in the left field corner, and you can see that Glenn Allen Hill has said, hey, I'm going to have to hustle. If that ball kicks out like it did, it's going to be a close play at second base.
Glenn Allen gets in ahead of the tag. A good throw by Ruben Rivera right to Andy Sheets. Hill at second. Here's Dan Wilson in the dirt, knocking it down. Jim Leyritz, ball one. Donnie Wall acquired from the Detroit Tigers with Danny Maselli and third baseman Ryan Valpy for right-hander Tim Worrell and outfielder Trey Beeman back on November the 19th. Ground ball. Skipping a little rope at third base, Coach Steve Smith. And a Diamond Girl comes up with the baseball, and the count is even on Wilson. And 1 ball and 1 strike. Danny, the tying run of the plate. 2 nights ago down in Anaheim, hit his 4th home run of the year into the rocks out there in left center. And Anaheim Stadium. Swing and a miss by Wilson. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Actually, Edison Field. The new ballpark for the Angels. Danny looking for a clutch base hit. With Hill out there at second base. Swing and a miss, strike 3, 1 out. Donnie Wall with a strikeout. That'll bring up third baseman Rico Rossi. Well, friends, it's fight time on Fox. Every jab, every hook, every body blow, and every uppercut. The sweep science practiced by today's best fighters. Fight time on Fox Friday night at 8 on Fox Sports Northwest. 1 on, 1 out for third baseman Rico Rossi. Rico 0 for 1. Strike 1. Right-hander Danny Maselli, a former Tiger, warming up down in the San Diego bullpen. Came over in that deal along with Donnie Wall from Detroit during the offseason. 0-2.
It has to be very frustrating for Lou Piniella when you have a leadoff double and you're trying to play little ball. Little ball meaning moving the runners along and scratching your way and picking up a run here or there. That helps.
Leyritz crossed up, can't find the pitch, and down to third base goes Glenn Allen Hill. That's going to be a pass ball, but it looked like Leyritz was crossed up by Donnie Wall. He went very awkwardly after that pitch. And now the Mariners have runner at third base with 1 out.
Take a look at that pitch one more time. Is that pitch kind of handcuffed Leyritz? You're right, that may have been a pass ball.
There's a ground ball. Glenn Allen Hill. Oh, still at third base. They were going to give the Mariners a run. Rossi is out over at first base for 3. Glenn Allen Hill went down the line toward home, stopped, went back to third. Mariners should have their second run, but it's still 3-1. And Lou Piniella cannot believe it.
If the infield's playing back, they're going to give you the run. So here it is again.
Glenn Allen Hill hesitating, goes home, stops.
Wow. Well, that cost the Mariners a run. Should be a 1-run game.
0-1 the count on Joey Cora. The infield was back. Ground ball to the right side. It was wide of the pitcher, Donnie Wall.
And you know, Sheets didn't even pay any attention to the runner at third. He just picked the ball up, said you go ahead and have the run, throw the ball to first base. Now the Mariners need a 2-out base hit.
Big break for San Diego. Padres were going to give the Mariners that run, but the Mariners just didn't take it. Joey 0 for 2. All 3, 3-1 on Cora. Still anchored at third base. And there is ball 4. Joey Cora with a walk, and now the Mariners have runners at first and third with 2 outs. First walk given up by Donnie Wall. Brings up shortstop Alex Rodriguez, who hit a line shot home run to left field leading off the bottom of the 6th inning. Now the Mariners have the tying run at first, and now the go-ahead run is at the plate at Alex.
And right now the Mariners have the hottest hitter up there at the plate. Alex has 6 hits his last 7 at-bats. His last hit is 26th home run of the year. So maybe the Mariners are going to come out of this thing okay. A-Rod 2 for 3 besides the home run. He hit a line drive single to left field back in the 1st inning. Here comes Bruce Bochy, the skipper, out of the dugout for San Diego. He has Maselli warmed up and ready down to the bullpen, the right-hander, and he's going to bring in Maselli. The left-hander begins to warm up along with Maselli. So the change is made. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by U.S. West. Life's better here. Padres lead 3-1, but the Mariners have 2 on with 2 outs. We'll be back after this timeout. You're a teacher.
And doesn't score. The Mariners should have 2 runs in this game.
You can see that Steve Smith was waiting for Hill to go, and then you can see his reaction hollering, "Go!"
The new pitcher for San Diego, right-hander Dan Maselli. Good numbers for Maselli.
Yes, indeed. He has been pitching extremely well, as you can tell by those numbers.
Off-speed pitch for a strike at the knees on Alex Rodriguez, 0-1.
Maselli has not allowed a run in the last 7 appearances. That covers 8 in the 3rd inning. So he's been on a very good roll right now. That's the reason that Bruce Bochy brought him in.
1st and 3rd, 2 outs.
Line drive, base hit, left field line, and toward the corner. Hill's going to score. Over to 3rd, Joey Cora. He's being waved home. The relay to the plate. Joey slides. He's safe. The ball game is tied at 3 on an RBI double. A 2-run double by Alex Rodriguez. A rope down the line in left field. Hill scores. Cora scores with 2 outs, and A-Rod has all 3 RBIs for the Mariners tonight in this 3-3 tie. Alex is hot. He's on fire. He now has 7 hits his last 8 at-bats. And as you pointed out, all 3 RBIs tonight. And credit Cora with some great hustle scoring from first base. First of all, credit Cora for getting on. And then credit Joey from scoring on this ball hit so hard down the left field line. The little guy was motoring all the way around. Look at him go. And the head first, good slide at the plate to get past the tag of Larris.
Love the reaction of Joey as he brings home run number 3. Gets by Jim Larris. And now they will take the bat away from Ken Griffey Jr. An intentional walk to Griffey. Mariners will have runners at 1st and 2nd with a 3-3 tie. The go-ahead run is in scoring position. There is ball 4, so Griffey tosses the bat away. Joey Cora, great hustle, scoring from first base on the double by A-Rod. And here it is one more time. Breaking ball, line drive, left field line, into the corner. Hill scores from 3rd. Now watch Joey motor. The relay by Gomez, not in time.
And look at the slide. You can see Griffey helping Cora out, telling him which way to slide.
Good teamwork right there. Junior the traffic. Cop here's the pitch on the way to Edgar for a strike, 0-1. Get down, slide this way, and Joey with a great slide to get in ahead of the tag of Jim Larris. Edgar is 0 for 2. Big swing and a miss. Up and in 2 on Edgar. Bruce Bochy has his ball club on top in the National League West. 5.5 game lead over the Giants. Breaking ball was up high. 1-2. The runners on. Look at that. Edgar, a .317 hitter with 8 of his 12 home runs. He has Junior at first. Alex on at second base. Low ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mariners came from behind yesterday, Red, to beat Oakland 10-5. That was their first number behind win since May the 12th.
Well, the numbers in the month of June have not been too good.
Nope. Shot foul on the third base side by the Mariner dugout. Still 2-2 on Edgar. Edgar back in that cleanup spot the last couple of ball games.
And I think Edgar is a little bit more comfortable batting in the number 4 position in the lineup. Jay probably a little bit more comfortable batting in that number 5 or 6 spot. So Lou has it back to
ball 3, full count 3-2.
back to an area where he was trying to figure out some way of having somebody hitting the 4th spot, 5th spot, and the 6th spot, so he just went back the way it was last year.
Griffey at first, Alex Rodriguez on at second base. They're going to take off with this pitch with 2 outs. The 3-2 to Edgar. Fouled away on the first base side. We'll try it one more time. Alex back to second. Junior back to first. Pete Chalot checking out the numbers inside the San Diego dugout. Two runs in, 3-3 tie. The runners go. Strike 3 called on the inside corner, and that will retire the side. But the Mariners get 2 to tie it up after 7 innings of play. A 3-3 tie. And here's the look by Edgar Martinez, back to plate umpire Ken Kaiser. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Let's take a look at what's coming your way tonight on Fox Sports News following our game. For that, we take you to the Fox Network Center.
B.F. Goodrich presents this Fox Sports News Sports Break.
Along with Brad Good, I'm Lionel Bienvenu of Fox Sports News with this Sports Break. The Dodgers introduced Tommy Lasorda as their interim GM and Glenn Hoffman as their interim manager at a press conference on Monday.
In World Cup action, Romania scored in the 90th minute to defeat England 2-1. Romania advances now to the 2nd round. News, scores, and highlights nightly on Fox Sports News.
Right here on Fox Sports Net.
Select road. Validating tires.
Good breaking ball, a strike on the outside corner. 1-1 on Gwynn. Most consecutive seasons with a .350 or better batting average. Tony Gwynn, 5 consecutive years hitting over .350. Ty Cobb, 11 years. Rogers Hornsby, 6 seasons. Line shot fouled on the right field line, 1-2. He's amazing. At the age of 38, he's hitting .336. Listen, with Tony before the ballgame, he said, I'm a better hitter now over the last 5 years than I was when I first broke into the big leagues. Still going strong.
You know, he went 0 for 14 this year, and that's the longest hitless streak in his career. 0 for 14. Wow.
He said, here's a Chris Lowe ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes before the game. He says, yeah, I went 0 for 14, had the 3 hits yesterday. He said, but I hit 10 balls hard right at him.
Well, he probably did.
Closing in on 3,000 hits. Needed 220 for this season to get to 3,000. Down and away. Ball 3. Full count 3-2. Tony has a new book out, The Art of Hitting, and if anybody can write a book on hitting, it's this guy. Went to a book signing today in downtown Seattle. Bounces 1 foul on the first base side. Still 3-2. Said, where did you come up with the idea of writing a book on hitting? He said, well, I've been thinking about it for years. He says, you accumulate all this information from the great hitters that you talk to. He mentioned Ted Williams and Rod Carew. He said, finally, I was just taking down notes, and it just all came together. The book is entitled The Art of Hitting by Tony Gwynn. Ted Williams wrote the foreword for the book. Down and away, ball 4. So Tony Gwynn with a leadoff walk here in the 8th inning. Tony Gwynn, a long time with San Diego. Here's a look at the longest tenure with one team From some current pro athletes, hockey player Ray Bourque of the Boston Bruins, 19 years with Boston. Ripken, 18 years with the Orioles. Tony Gwynn, 17 years with the San Diego Padres. Just don't see that very often, Redwood. A player staying with